and crazier and crazier. It's like you don't know what the hell's going on. We just put Aaron as a 100% narcissist and woman abuser. Aaron doesn't have any fans in the chat. Yeah, it's just wild to see how this case has just ballooned into like this madness. It's like what the hell happened? So for those of you who don't know, let me put up this. So I don't know if you guys remember this particular stream, the hot tub stream. I'll play it real quick. But back in the day, all of these people were friends. Just to give everybody a little background on what's going on. So this is the famous hot tub stream, and
I'm kidding.
here it is. Let me play
They're
it.
doing behind the camera. I am taking over the stream. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Wow.
Okay.
I don't know whose hand it was,
That was not
Yes,
okay.
you do, you whore.
but it felt like Aaron's.
That was gross.
So
It's actually Kayla's foot.
now I'm going to pause it right here. All four of these people in this hot tub, literally in hot water, are facing felony charges for various reasons. Nick, his wife, and April are facing him for major drug violations, weight, cocaine. And now Aaron, who's also in the hot tub, he's facing felony charges. So it's like, what's going on with this case? It's like you couldn't make this stuff up. It's what do they say? Life is better than fiction, and in this case, it is. So just so everybody can see, I got the statement for probable cause 2 for Aaron. So I'll show it. So allegedly, and I just want to be very clear for those of you who like Nick, please don't take this as me hating on Nick or disliking Nick or doing anything. I'm just going to let everyone know what's happening. So Aaron's being charged with essentially revenge porn. And the people who snitched him out, who went to police and said, this is happening, we want him arrested, are Nick, his wife, and April. Now, I'll give you my opinion on why they snitched him out. I believe they snitched him out because he is a witness in the case against them for their felony drugs. So if Aaron is a witness in the case against Nick, April, and Kayla, then it just makes sense for them, for if they can destroy his credibility, show he has an axe to grind or anything like that. It's great because now if he's being arrested for revenge porn, it shows that he has an axe to grind and it hurts his credibility tremendously. I would say, Aaron being charged and given a restraining order against someone who has who he's supposed to be a witness against is going to destroy his credibility. I would attack his credibility if I was their lawyers. And now I think you can see that kind of developing. So Nick and his wife, they all went to police and said, hey, he's doing this. So, you know what? Instead of me saying it, instead of me giving you these, let me show you exactly what happened with Aaron, Nick. So just, you know what? I would just like to give people a little background on what's going on. So you have Nick Rekieta from Rekieta Law, his wife, Kayla Rekieta, and April Imholte. And they are in an interesting relationship, to say the least. They were also in it with Aaron. Now, as I just showed you earlier, they were having fun. They were in the hot tub and all this other stuff. Things were going great for this crew. Then there was a falling out. Then all of a sudden there were allegations of drug use, cocaine from people at his church, his pastors, kids' schools, and everything. Police raided Nick's house, found a whole bunch of cocaine, found a whole bunch of guns, charged them. He's facing up to 25 years in prison. And, all of that. Now, Nick and everyone denied that they were swingers, blah, 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 blah. But recently, something came up to kind of dispel that whole we're not swingers thing. So let me play the clip of Aaron actually sending Nick Rekieta's wife's nudes to someone else. So I have that clip. I'm going to play it for you right now. Let me cue it up so you guys can see it. So this is from, I forget the channel, Hackverse. So I'm going to give him credit, but we're going to see exactly what happened and why Aaron is being charged. And is got bail coming up. So here it is.
Piece of shit.
So hack
Flashback. How nice was Kayla's rack? She was beautiful.
Kayla is
She was
Kayla
a
Rekieta.
beautiful.
But the
girl.
tattoo on the right tit. Not a fan of tattoos on the tit.
Oh, the rosebud or whatever that was.
I just saw part of it in the mugshot.
Sure.
What? Come on, not say, please. And I can say this because I'm a supermodel. You know, I can judge other people. I'm just saying, not a fan of the tattoo on the tit. That's all.
I mean, that's that I understand, Gino, and that's.
I'm not
look,
saying like if a hot chick like her had a tattoo on her tit, I'm like, no, yeah. Just saying, what are your thoughts on that? The big old tattoo on the tit.
Well, here, give me 1 second here.
Oh, here we go. And what is it while you're looking about that? Like Kiana has tattoos, and I don't know if you've noticed this. Nuts about the girl. Love her. Greatest thing ever.
Check.
Like, they're
Hey,
with.
keep your.
What's that? Had to check my text. By the way,
did you check?
I like tattoos more than I think.
Your boy didn't do too bad, did he?
So he has now on stream. Talk about convincing evidence, right? On stream, he literally sends Nick's wife's nudes to another man and say, "Hey, your boy did good." And he's smiling, he's laughing, like, yeah. You know, I'm not sure if he's laughing because he hit it or whatever, but he has nudes. Now, obviously, the first question you're going to be thinking is about, well, how the hell did this guy get Nick's wife's nudes? Well, because they were in this relationship. So, you know, you have one couple and another couple and everybody's sending each other nudes and having fun in hot tubs. People are saying that this is confirmation that they were swingers. Now, you know what? Let me ask you guys in the chat before we get into the arraignment. Do you guys think they're swingers? Because it's everything's pointing to it, right? Why the hell has this guy got Rekieta's wife's nudes? So let's go. But for that, you know what? Let me do this. Let's go back to the document, because there's a document, the statement of probable cause from the police. This document, and this document is going to tell us some interesting information. Make sure I put it big on the screen so you guys can see it. All right. So it's going to tell us that on July 17th, law enforcement took a report of an unauthorized dissemination of sexual images, right? That's what we just saw. Kayla Rekieta, fully identified in police reports, called in to report Aaron Michael Imholte, his date of birth, whatever, sent another individual a nude photo of her without her consent. And who was there was Kayla Rekieta, Nick Rekieta, and AI is not artificial intelligence, but April Imholte, all fully identified in police reports and law enforcement. Now, Kayla Rekieta reported that over the course of several months, Nick Rekieta, AI, which is April, and defendant communicated via an app called Signal. The purpose of the app was to keep things private among each other, and all agreed nothing would be shared to others. KR sent nude photographs via Signal. So, now, they are admitting to sending nude photos to this other couple, this other guy, and he's admitting to all this, and he's saying it, and they're, you know, licking each other's ear on stream. It's like insane old stuff. So that happened. Now, from what I'm gathering, it seems like Aaron snitched on them about the coke and everything. Cops went and found all the coke. Now they went back and snitched on Aaron about what you just saw. Now, Nick, and now just to be clear, Nick has denied it. Nick's wife has denied it. They've denied this relationship with the Imholtes. But they are admitting, unless you can say that the documents are fake, they are admitting that they were sending nudes and everything via this special app, so nobody sees anything. Oh, Nate draws the line at ear licking. Well, they you know, I do have them, Nick licking his ear on stream. That was kind of weird. Let's just call it what it is. It was kind of weird. But I want to be very clear. They have denied it. But in the police report and in this legal document, it seems like they're admitting that there was a little bit more to the relationship than just two couples hanging out, right? If you're sending your friend, your wife's nudes. Or matter of fact, she was sending her nudes to him. So I don't know. What are people saying? Why are we pretending it's not obvious? I'm not saying it's obvious. I'm just saying that's what happened. So Aaron was then charged. Let me pull up his charge. So now they saw that clip I just showed you earlier. They went to police, said, hey, look, here's the clip, blah, 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 blah. The guy in that thing confirmed that he saw her nudes. And Aaron there was an arrest warrant made for Aaron because cops had probable cause that this was going on. So let me pull up the charges. So here's his charges. I want to pull this up and put this on the screen. So here are his charges. So Aaron's charges are, he's got felony, non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images, intentionally disseminate images without consent, which is a felony, maximum 3 years imprisonment, $5,000 fine. And count 2 is a misdemeanor, same thing, which is less than a year in jail and a $3,000 fine. So that's what he's being charged with. Those are the 2 counts. Now, 3 years imprisonment and $5,000 fine. That's pretty serious. So that's what Aaron is facing. So I've shown you what he did, who snitched him out, and I know people are going to take issue with snitch and cooperator and government informant and state evidence. But in this particular case against Aaron, that's what we got. We got informants, we got snitches, and we got state's evidence. Now, I will say this. What happened to Kayla by him pushing those pictures out to other people online, she should have, and I think rightfully so, reported that to the police. He shouldn't have done that. So I think she was all well within her right because he committed a crime that we saw online. If everything that they're admitting is saying here is true, that's a crime. Sending someone, because she sent them to you personally, and you're now sending them to other people to brag about your conquests. Now, I think that's a crime. So she should have reported it. Her, Nick, they all have the right to. But in the context of this anti-government, all police lie, this, it's now becoming this kind of, well, if you really don't like the police so much, then why are you over there snitching about? Again, it's not like you post them on YouTube, you sent them privately, but still. So my opinion, and I want to make this very clear, this is my opinion. My opinion is that the reason why they went and made this report to police is because they believe by knocking down Aaron, it's going to help their case. They believe by attacking Aaron, it's going to help their case. That's what's going on here. Super chat came in, not guilty. Those images were posted by Nick. Well, we'll see. Because that would be interesting. If Nick posted those pictures of his wife on Locals or whatever and made them already public, then, you really don't have anything. So, yeah, I think this is shutting up Aaron, because now you'll see he can't talk about them and he can't. So this gives them a little leverage on Aaron. And now when police, now remember in Nick's motion to dismiss, he pointed to Aaron specifically. This guy's got an axe to grind. This guy is blah, blah, blah. This helps that argument. This doesn't help that argument for the search warrant because the police didn't know all this when they got the search warrant. But now going into trial and going into these hearings and pretrial stuff, you can say, yeah, look, this guy, we want to bring this evidence in. This guy has an axe to grind. He has not stopped talking about since all this. Yeah. So let's get to Aaron's. Let's get to his arraignment, because he was arraigned today on these charges. So let's see what happened. But I'm gonna put a thing in the chat. Let me see. Now, you know what? I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll do it later. But I was gonna put a poll in the chat. Well, you know what? Forget about that. Give me a 1 or a 2. 1, if you believe that they were in and that these were swingers. Give me a 1 if you think Nick and Aaron were in this swinging relationship, or give me a 2 if you don't think they were. I think, based on what I'm seeing, based on them admitting to sharing these, it seems like a 1, but Nick is vehemently saying it's a 2. So I like one. Yeah, I'm in agreement here. It looks like they may have been in this relationship, and now that April is still living with the Rekietas in her house. Matter of fact, she's doing her arraignment from his house. It makes me think that he was kind of the odd man out and he got kicked out. Yeah, everybody. Nate. Why? Because you do have somebody denying it. You're asking me what? Nick is denying it. Nick said this is not true. It's a four-way. It's a four-way. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. All right, so let's look at this arraignment.
We are here today for our first appearance, Mr. Imholte's rights as well as the allegations.
I have, Judge, we waive reading.
Thank you. Combined with Rule 8 today.
Judge, we agree to accept Rule 8 materials by mail, and we would ask for an omnibus hearing.
Thank you. Ms. Darlene has to release conditions.
The state's requesting $100,000.
You know what? Also, before I do that, let me do this. Shout out to Court Clips. Court Clips. This is who had it. So I just want to make sure I give them a quick shout out. Court Clips. They have a lot of great clips about stuff that happens with the law influencer community. So Court Clips, I think it's run by Divinity Said. So shout out to that channel because, you know, obviously now she ripped this from someplace else, but since I'm getting it from her, I want to just make sure I give her a shout out.
The court's well aware of the circumstances of this case. I do believe that the conditions as requested are appropriate given the overall circumstances of the charges. He does also have a history of not abiding by court orders and no contact orders specifically, and violates them via an online broadcast. So that he does have an HRO in place.
So just to be clear, Aaron has been a bad boy. They're saying that he violates court orders all the time. Wow. So they're asking for $100,000, and they're saying the reason why is because he violates court orders all the time. He already has a harassment restraining order that he's violated. So we're going to go get more into this, but it looks like Aaron's got some other issues that we haven't even that hasn't been brought up to light yet. But he allegedly has violated multiple court orders, has a criminal record, and on top of that, has active harassment restraining orders against him now. So Aaron is a horrible witness for the state, and this is going to make it even worse.
Place protecting a different individual. He recently was sentenced for an HRO violation. Did look up case law regarding a condition specifically regarding.
Now he was just sentenced for HRO's harassment restraining order. He was just sentenced for violating another harassment restraining order. So this guy, I don't want to say he's a serial harasser, but it's starting to sound like that. How many restraining orders do people in the chat have, right? I've never had a restraining order, a harassment restraining order, multiple violations of. It sounds like Aaron has a problem with this harassment, and this will go straight down. And this is why you're going to ask for bail. This guy has it. Well, this is what the DA said.
Regarding this, I could not find anything on point in Minnesota specifically, but I did find a Second Circuit Court of Appeals case where a similar condition was imposed. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals did find that it would not violate freedom of speech as it was reasonably related to the nature and circumstances of the offense.
All right, sorry for the audio. It will get better. It's just got the echo. But one thing they're talking about is that if you're going to give him a restraining order, then it would violate, because Aaron has the right to say what he wants to say, do what he wants to do. So giving him a restraining order, that will stop him from doing that, right? The court will order him, you can't do that. So to violate his rights like that, you have to give him due process and good cause to do so. So that's what they're talking about. They're saying, well, if we give him this restraining order, another one, then he will not be able to, then it won't be a violation of his rights based on the law as it is now. Now, some people would argue that it's a violation of right because he hasn't been convicted of anything. You shouldn't be able to take people's rights without convicting them. But the other argument is that this is his due process. He's in court, he can argue with it, and he can lose, right? The judge can say yes or no. So
additionally, I would ask for omnibus to be held within time. And I believe Mr. Peterson and I both are requesting that be in person.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. As to release conditions.
Judge, it's my understanding that My client has a single misdemeanor conviction concerning a harassment restraining order. I say this for context.
So confirmed. He's already wow, you're talking about a crazy case. He's already has a harassment restraining order but then he's violated. Now I remember he had one against his ex-wife or something like that. So he's already got one. He's already been convicted. He's already been sentenced for that one. And now we have another one coming. Now, where did they find this guy? Like, this is crazy.
Concerning the severity of charges compared to other more severe charges. My client is a homeowner and has lived in Minnesota all his life. He's 37 years of age and divorced with 3 school-aged children. He has an associate of arts degree from Brown College and is the owner of Steel Toe Media. He advises me he has no felony record, no record of crimes of violence, with the exception of the single misdemeanor HRO that the prosecutor mentioned.
So now that's Aaron's attorney you're hearing. And what he's doing is he's giving you an argument why they should release him with essentially almost no bail, right? This is a college educated man. He's got 3 children. He's divorced. He's the breadwinner. He runs a company, so this is not someone who's going anywhere. And if bail, think about this, if bail is about whether he's going to show up to court, he's lived in Minnesota all his life. He's been a good boy. He had this harassment restraining order, but that's something minimal, right? He's never been convicted of any felonies. And on top of that, he has a lot to state. Like he's not, he's going to leave his 3 kids. So if it's about him coming back to court, then all of these things, his connections to the community, his roots in the community are important, because he now it's going to make him less likely to want to run. And he's running from these minor, these, even though it's a felony, these are really minor charges, right? It's if he pleads out, he's probably going to plead out to misdemeanor. And even if he's convicted, he's not getting any jail time for this. Just so everybody understands, this is Nick has a better chance of getting jail time than Aaron does, because Nick has got like a second-degree felony. This is a light felony. So with that being said, that's what his attorney is doing. His attorney is trying to, make it so that the judge understands that this guy's not running anywhere. He's going to sit here and he's going to fight the charges, and you should essentially give him no bail.
This matter went out as a complaint warrant very recently. He retained me on Friday, and we had a plan for him to turn himself in this morning so we could address conditions of release. I would suggest that the request for $100,000 unconditional bail is excessive. And while we agree that harassing comments are inappropriate, I know this has to be balanced with a person's constitutional right to fair speech and any free speech, and any prohibition on speech should be narrowly tailored. That's all I have. Thank you.
Now, I will say this. Nick, right? What was Nick's bail? 50 grand, right? 50 grand. So he paid it. And now they were found with weight cocaine, guns, and kids in the house. And they got how much? What was their bail? 50 grand, right? 50 grand a piece. They're asking for 100 grand. And he's got, all he did was send a picture over the phone. So this, so I don't know how they get bail in Minnesota, but damn, don't send a picture over the internet, because they'll kill you. They're going to ask for 100 grand. Where if you get caught with weight cocaine, second-degree felony, is 50 grand. And on top of like April, matter of fact, April got 20 grand. And she was caught with weight cocaine and in there with the guns and all this other stuff. So this is crazy. This is crazy. So let's see how much bail. Well, I know how much bail they give him, but if Nick only got 50 grand for weight cocaine, guns, and kids in the house, then he should get no more than, like, he shouldn't get as much as that for this. But we'll see. We'll see. And one thing this would show, maybe somebody put repeat offender. Well, well, he violated the harassment restraining order, but I don't think he's done the. This is the first time he's been charged with this type of felony, because remember they just said he's never been charged with that type of felony. They asked for 100K too, but Nick only got 50K, right? He only got 50K cash or bond. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. I've read the complaints. I reviewed the allegations. I think because what the court is most interested in ensuring here is that Mr. Imholte understands and is going to abide by the court's orders to not harass or have any contact with the alleged victim here. I do think that substantial monetary bail, which if posted would not come with the same conditions, is necessary to ensure that he continues to make court appearances and continues to follow the court's orders moving forward. So I do think some substantial unconditional bail is appropriate. I'll set that at $75,000. In the alternative, he can be released today without having to post any monetary bail, but he is to abide. He is to remain law-abiding. He is to make future court appearances. He is to keep in contact with his attorney. He is to keep the court updated of any change in his address. He is not to leave the state of Minnesota without permission of corrections. He is to not have any contact with the alleged victim in this case, KCR. He is to stay 500 feet away from her residence. The court is also going to order that he abide by all active harassment restraining orders, and also that he is to not have any indirect communication with KCR, which would include making disparaging comments specifically about her or harassing her on any medium, which would include in person, over the telephone, text message, online, social media, or broadcast through any podcasts or similar online shows. The court does believe that restriction on simply not mentioning KCR is narrowly tailored to relate specifically to the rights and safety of the alleged victim in this case.
So just so we're clear, so he can put up $75,000 cash right now, and everything the judge said, he doesn't have to do, right? Put up the $75,000 cash. He can go talk, blah, 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 whatever on his morning show. KCR is Kayla Rekieta. KCR is Kayla Rekieta. It's her first, middle, and last name. Now, he can either pay the $75,000, they'll put it, he can say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, or he can go for free right now. He can go for free, but he'll have those conditions. Now, I'm assuming he's going to go with those conditions because it just makes sense, right? Why would I, especially in a criminal case, why would I talk about her? Why would I do anything with, about her if we have an active criminal case where I'm harassing her? And obviously he has his harassment restraining orders and all this other stuff. So if you have all that, I think it makes sense. Now, the $75,000, let's just be real. That's pretty high. Again, you got one guy who's got caught with, second degree felony coke and guns. He gets 50, but then a guy who sends a naked picture gets 75,000. That's a little high. Now, I would also say the conditions for both were different too. Like Nick's conditions were drug testing and all this other stuff and reporting to the probation officer and all that. Where his is really just stay away from them, contact your attorney, and come know your court date. So the conditions on both were vastly different. Where I think Nick's conditions were a lot more intrusive, where Aaron's conditions make sense in the terms of this is a criminal case and you want to stay away from them anyway. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to keep his mouth shut and stay away from Kayla Rekieta.
So I will impose that condition as requested by the state. We'll set this for an omnibus. It will be an in-person hearing. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
Demanding speedy?
We are not demanding speedy, Judge. I discussed this issue with my client and we want to thoroughly review and investigate the case.
All right, thank you. We'll set this matter without regard to time at this point.
The state is
Stelling?
asking for it to be within time. And if there's any specific conflicts, Mr. Peterson and I can discuss with the court clerk.
We'll note the state speedy request, and then the next hearing date will be set in coordination with council.
All right. Thank you. That's Divinity said. Thank you so much for actually recording somebody else's recording of the hearing. So that's what we got. So Aaron now has a harassment restraining order. Can't talk about Kayla Rekieta. Specifically, he can talk about Nick, it sounds like, but can't talk about Kayla Rekieta. He can still talk about his ex-wife, but can't talk about Kayla Rekieta. And he's got $75,000 bail, but I'm thinking he's going to do the conditions because the conditions just make sense. If I'm his attorney, I'm telling him to do his conditions. Now, he also wants to fight these charges. And for those of you who didn't see what happened, why he's being charged with this, I'll show you. We literally have the clip. Again, thank you to this channel. Let me show the channel again. Let me put this up so I can show the channel, because I like giving people credit for, especially if I'm using stuff that they took. But this actually is Aaron's video. But arrest warrant. This is from Hackverse Anonymous. Thank you again for clipping this, because what's his name is taking it down. So this is exactly why he's being charged. I can read it, but why not just show it to you? Because I got the clip.
She was beautiful. I will say that she was a beautiful.
But the tattoo on the right tit. Not a fan of tattoos on the tip.
Sorry, I'm gonna go back.
Oh, it was Kayla's rack. She was beautiful. I will say that she was a beautiful.
But the tattoo on the right tit. Not a fan of tattoos on the tit.
Oh, the rosebud or whatever that was.
I just saw part of it in the mugshot.
No, I love you.
Come on, not say, please. And I can say this because I'm a supermodel.
Yeah, I got to shout out Court Clips. Thank you again for, and well, this is Divinity said, who sometimes hates me. I don't know why you hate me, Divinity, but I love Divinity said. So she clips a lot of this stuff for us, so all that stuff. Court Clips, don't forget, check her out. She does great work. So, I love you, Divinity, even though I know you hate me sometimes, but I got love for you. Oh, and my boy Uncivil Law is in the house. But let me get back to this so you guys can see. I've stopped the videos. Let me go back. So this is what happened and why Aaron.
I just saw part of it in the mugshot. What? Come on, not say, please. And I can say this because I'm a supermodel. I can judge other people. I'm just saying, not a fan of the tattoo on the tip. That's all.
I mean, that's that I understand, Gino, and that's.
I'm not saying like if a hot chick like.
Now, just for some context for people who don't know, in the mugshot, allegedly you can see a tattoo on part of a tattoo on Kayla Rekieta's breast, and they were like, he's not a fan of it, but now he's going to allegedly send a picture so he can see the full tattoo.
Her had a tattoo on her tit. I'm like, no, yeah. Just saying, what are your thoughts on that? The big old tattoo on the tit.
Well, here, give me 1 second here.
Oh, here we go. And what is it while you're looking about that? Like Kiana has tattoos, and I don't know if you'd noticed this. Nuts about the girl. Love her. Greatest thing ever.
Check
there with.
Keep your.
What's that? I had to check my text. By the way,
did you check?
I like tattoos more than I think.
Your boy didn't do too bad, did he?
That's how you get charged with felony, with felony revenge porn and misdemeanor revenge porn, and you get multiple restraining orders about it. So that's and that grin at the end is so crazy. So yeah, your boy committed a crime. That grin is so crazy. And it's funny because that's exactly what they describe. If you look back, let me pull up the court document again. It's funny because if you look at how they describe it, look at the way they describe it in the complaints. I don't know why I'm so enamored with this. All right, so here's how they describe it in the complaint. They talk about the relationship and how they were all sending pictures and stuff to each other, which is crazy. So a review of defendant show. This is the May 27th show. It shows defendant and GB, the person who you saw, you sent the pictures to, participating. The two of them were talking about Killer and her tattoos. Then the defendant is seen scrolling through his phone, and it looks like, do I have this up on screen? Yeah. And it looks like he is taking a screenshot and then tells GB to look at his phone, which you just exactly saw. GB looks at the phone and says, I like tattoos more than I thought. The defendant responds, your boy didn't do too bad, did he? KR is then talked about in an explicit manner. So they like literally watch the show and said, just put it like, this is what happened. That's exactly what we just saw. That's exactly what we just saw. Right now, GB, because obviously police got to talk to GB. What did you get? Right, he confirmed that he received the nude photo. So now some people are calling GB a snitch, which I don't believe. You know, he's a snitch. Police come now. Either you treat police like mushrooms, feed them shit, and keep them in the dark, or you do your civic duty and okay, yeah, you know, I got these pictures. He's said I got the pictures, and this is what it was. So. He did acknowledge that. Law enforcement spoke to the defendant and she acknowledged the relationship using the Signal app. However, she said that she didn't recall ever. The defendant stated he did not ever recall receiving or sending nude photos of KR. Yeah. So he said he didn't. So his defense was, I don't remember if I did it. Now, even though it's on the show, that's his defense. I don't remember. I don't remember if I did it. So. Let's see. All right. Somebody asked a quick question. Nate, the lawyer, could the argument be made that Nick's charges didn't have a victim? Aaron's did, resulting in higher bail. It's possible, but the degrees of felonies here, the drug felony is like a second-degree felony up here with 25 years, and this one is a light felony with possible 3 years, right? So that Nick's felony is so much higher than this felony, and he got the gun charges too. So Nick is charged with three charges, where he's just charged with 2. So you could make that argument, but I don't know. I don't know if you do make that argument. So, but obviously, and I think the thing that the reason why Aaron got so much more bail is because he's already violated a harassment restraining order, and when you get that history of already so the court is like, hey, I want you to do the right thing. So I'm going to give you $75,000 bail. You don't got to pay that, but to go free and to live your life, you got to stand. Don't contact Kayla. Don't talk about her, and don't violate any of the restraining orders. Right. So now you got a harassment restraining order. You got a harassment restraining order against this one, and he's already got other harassment restraining orders, and he's already violated them. So that's it. Nose clamps rock. When you are debating which felony is a worse felony, we are asking the wrong question. Well, I think a second-degree felony is worse. I think this is like a 4th-degree felony or something like that. This is obviously a lot lighter felony than this other one. Which is this? Which degree of felony this is? Doesn't even say. I think this is like the lowest level felony they got. Yeah, this is not a second-degree felony. This is a lot less. So, but it doesn't say, because usually when you first a kind of top felony would be like murder 1, and 2 would be like second-degree felonies, which this is. Felonies for everyone. Yeah, felonies for everyone. Nate, the lawyer, what are the chances that the no recording threat of the judge made prior to the hearing is followed up on? I didn't record it. It's online. But the problem with that, with the judge said, don't record anything and all that stuff. The big issue with that is, if I'm in Minnesota, I may have a problem, right? Because the judge in Minnesota is saying, don't record it, it violates Minnesota law. The people who record it, they may not be in Minnesota. So how, if they're in Australia, how does that work, right? Yeah, in Minnesota, that's not right. But if you're all somewhere else, it's going to be hard for them to get to you, because it may be illegal. Things that are illegal in Minnesota may not be illegal where you're at. So that's where I think that's going to go. But the person's in Minnesota, I would be concerned. Now, I personally would follow those rules. I wouldn't record it, doing all that stuff, but it's already online. So that's it. Today, HRO is a crime of talking. What's it? Talking HRO is a crime of violence. First Amendment is crazy. Well, this HRO was because of the I think he has one now against Kayla because of the revenge porn issue. So that's it, Nate. What are your thoughts on how you think Rekieta case is going? Well, I have a full. All right, so for those of you who want to know my full thoughts on the Rekieta case, I have a full video coming out. Let me see if it's uploaded yet, where I talk about everything up to this point. So let me see. I'm just seeing if it's uploaded yet, or trying to finishing editing it. Yeah, so it's uploading now. It should be out maybe like an hour or two. So I have a video covering the whole thing. So the whole entire thing, showing you from start to finish, even has Aaron's little piece in it too. So now two things. Where I think his Frank's argument is ridiculous, but you'll see my thoughts and how other people have been doing this. So with that being said, we saw the crime, we saw the arraignment, we understand what's happening, and hopefully we will see how all this stuff plays out in the end. Now, as of right now, I think Nick's motion is finito. I think that goes away. I think Nick's only, my opinion is that Nick's only chance of winning this case is to get that search warrant thrown out. If that search warrant holds up, Nick is screwed. I know a lot of people would like him. I know a lot of people. Nick is screwed if this search warrant holds up. There's nothing anybody can tell me. That search warrant, he is screwed. Number two, Aaron, I think is screwed because it's the evidence is right there. They already got the witnesses. He sent it to this person. I think Aaron's looking to take a plea. Aaron's going to take a plea. There is no search warrant. It's like here it all is, right? Aaron's going to take a plea. He's going to probably take a plea to the misdemeanor or something like that, with his little history. So he's looking to take a plea. I don't even see how what motion to dismiss, right? He was doing, unless he says, I didn't send the picture, blah, blah, blah. You can't prove it. You literally got the person he sent the picture to saying he sent it. You got Kayla Rekieta saying she sent. So I think he's done. For Kayla and April, I think they're kind of in the same boat because the coke was found in the house. So if you can get the search warrant thrown out, then the coke goes away. So I think at the end of the day, you're probably looking at 3 pleads, all of them pleading out to something a little bit more, a little less. No, I don't believe any of them is going to get jail time, but I think it's an interesting case because, how do you go from 4 people being in a hot tub having a good time to all 4 of them are facing felony charges? So, what can you say? So with that being said, let me know how you feel. Let me know how you guys feel. I've been looking at this stuff in the comment section. So it's pretty fascinating. How things have just turned, because it seems like I would have never thought these words would come out my mouth. Nick Rekieta snitched out Aaron Imholte. And I would have never thought these words would say, Aaron Imholte snitched out Nick Rekieta. So it's the battle of the snitches right now. One guy is snitching the other guy out. The other guy goes and snitches him out. And now everybody's snitching on each other. And then it's gotten to the point where, hey, we had this interesting relationship with each other's wives. And how did you get those pictures? If it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what Nick's going to say about that, but I think he is probably going to be happy at this result because don't forget, Aaron is a witness against Nick and April and Kayla and their second-degree felony drug charges, right? So if they can destroy him, right, that's going to be an issue. All right, so also last thing I got to mention to you guys, thank you, Linda, for reminding me, the Dalton Street of the night. I've been contacted by my people in Dalton. There is something going on. So the mayor put out an agenda that none of them agree with because they have other things they have to do that is critical to keep the town running. But the mayor didn't put it on the agenda. So they are not going to the meeting tonight. They said they're going to the next meeting, and they scheduled it for September 12th. And that meeting, they're going to go over business. So nobody's supposed to show up tonight. They said they're not showing up tonight. So there's a meeting scheduled for the night, but I don't know who's going to show up. So we're going to cover it and see what happens. But I actually had their press release of them saying they're not going to show up to the meeting. So it's going to be, looks like Tiffany Hinyard are going to be alone. So who knows? But with that being said, thank you for the up to 2,000, almost 2,000 people here at one point in time. Thank you for everybody who watched this. I know this is kind of a last minute thing, but I thought it was just fascinating to see. And I thought it was fascinating that, his is 75,000 and, just for sending the picture, but finding cocaine, kids, and guns on somebody's house that gets you, he got less, it's less. So it's just fascinating how the legal system works, how it's so unique to each person. But with that being said, don't forget, like, subscribe, do all the great YouTube stuff. The Nick videos should be coming out like in maybe 10-15 minutes as soon as I put a cover on it. And let me know what you guys think. Nate the Lawyer, I'm out. Peace.